Well, I told you guys that we would be back live if news drops. The Bulls have officially extended a qualifying offer to Patrick Willaims. We're going to talk about it, break it all down, and more right after this.
You are now tuned in to Chicago Bulls Central, your number one place for all Chicago Bulls news and content.
What's going on, Bulls fans? Welcome to another episode of Chicago Bulls Central, your number one spot for everything Chicago Bulls related. And we got news. The Bulls have officially extended a $13 million qualifying offer to Patrick Willaims. And so this should not be a surprise for very many Bulls fans. There was no chance that the Bulls weren't going to extend the qualifying offer. I still think that it's a slim chance overall that the Bulls don't just outright do re-sign Patrick Willaims. But this maintains some flexibility for the Chicago Bulls, that even if the Bulls did not extend a qualifying offer, he would have been an unrestricted free agent. By extending a qualifying offer, it gives the Bulls some power no matter what happens with Patrick Willaims. They can match any deal that he does get if he does go out and sign an offer sheet with another team. It gives them time to negotiate with him. On top of that, without him hitting the market outright, everything that you could need and want as far as to maintain flexibility while player can still explore the market or whatever, be a free agent. It's made easier and better when you have that restricted free agent tag. And so the Bulls get that. They put that tag on Patrick Willaims. It is what it is, and that's just what it comes down to. This is a tactic and a smart one when it comes down for the Chicago Bulls of doing this. If the Bulls were to not, for example, extend a qualifying offer to Patrick Willaims, it would have been one of the dumbest things that they can do. Now, that's not to say that necessarily whatever happens with Patrick Willaims that they have to sign him. It depends on a few different things. But I think that this creates that path where Patrick Willaims is probably going to be back. And I know that not every Bulls fan is going to like that or want to hear that or anything like that. But that's more than likely what's coming down the pipeline here, is that Patrick Willaims will be back in the Chicago Bulls uniform. He will be back and probably on a deal between 13 and 15 million, something like that. Now, is there a chance that Patrick Willaims signs for less? There's a chance of it. We've seen players sign for less than the qualifying offer before, but that's not usually the case. Now, keep in mind, the $13 million is just a qualifying offer. So I see things like this from Tay Hollins. A qualifying offer is already set by the market. That wasn't the Bulls. You can't change the qualifying offer. The qualifying offer is dictated by what their contract was at the end of their rookie scale deal. That's not their actual offer for a new contract of Patrick Willaims. That is just the qualifying offer. The Bulls could not offer more on a qualifying offer. It's dictated by performance, like if you have any type of accolades or anything like that, but it's also dictated by where your draft position was. So the $13 million qualifying offer isn't the Bulls lowballing Patrick Willaims or anything like that. It was already set. We knew what Patrick Willaims' qualifying offer was the day that he was drafted, for example. So that's what that is. So let's be clear there. I just want to be clear on what the qualifying offer is, because I think and see from some of the comments that there's some misconception on what the qualifying offer is. So with that said, the Bulls extend this qualifying offer. That's what makes him a restricted free agent. And now, as you go into free agency, the Bulls have the power to match any deal that Patrick Willaims gets. Now, that doesn't mean they're going to have the cap space to do it. A team could theoretically offer Patrick Willaims more than what the Bulls have in cap space, and then the Bulls either got to get busy on creating some of that space to get him or do something. Look, if you knock over my light, I'm going to hurt you. What are you doing? Just sit your little old ass down, bruh. Sit down. Your face is turning gray. Just sit down. You're old. What is your young ass doing? Y'all both just irritating me today. I love y'all. Mm-hmm. All right. But so that's just what it is. Just to explain what that qualifying offer is, he's probably going to sign for more than that, but it is what it is when it comes down to that. So listen, this was a foregone conclusion. We knew that he was going to get an extension. Well, as far as the qualifying offer, now we got to see what they're going to get. P. Will is still good. He just ain't the number one option people thought he was. I don't think anybody thought P. Will was the number one option. If you thought P. Will was the number one option, I need to know what kind of meth you were smoking. Not even weed. You smoking meth at that point, my boy. Whoever thought that Patrick Willaims was a number one option? He hasn't even shown that he can be a number 2 option consistently. Were there people who thought that Patrick Willaims was a number 1 option? That's crazy. Those early articles before the season was that as 100. No, those were rumors. That was debunked very shortly thereafter. Very shortly, like literally later on that day, that was debunked. That was some writer looking for an angle. It was never that actually. LOL, love the puppies. Listen, they ain't puppies. One of these dogs is old as hell. He's old as dirt. Come here, Leo. Come here, baby. Give me a hug. This is my old boy. Say Leo's old. Say Leo's 11. Say I'm old, but he still moves around like a spring chicken. All right, baby. Get down. Come. Get down. I love you. All right. That's my old man. That's Leo. He's old. He's protected though. He wasn't even drafted to be a number 1 option. Yeah, like Patrick Willaims never showed anything to be number 1 option. So Cordelia says people ain't going nowhere. Ack would never. Like he does love him. Like I don't think that here's the thing. I do think if they go wing in this draft, there is a possibility. I would say that there's a possibility. Now, I'm not saying that that's the most likely scenario, but I do think that is a possibility. Salute. Would you have? How would you feel if Chicago lost Levine, DeMar, and Patrick Willaims this offseason? I mean, listen, depends on what else happens. With that said, I have a black lab that looks like he's half lab, half Australian Shepherd is what he is. $13 million to play okay defense and completely disappear offensively most of the time. I mean, that's a harsh critique. He doesn't completely disappear, but he has to be better. He has to be better. I would have not taken him at number 4 in that draft. Well, I mean, unfortunately, like looking back at it, no. But in that draft, keep in mind, that was the draft that was labeled, much like this draft, the weakest draft in the last 5 years. They killed that draft, and it actually ended up being quite a bit of really good players to come out of that draft. Pete Willie deserves $200 million. 200, bro. Listen, I know that you do meth in real life, TBO, but you gotta stop, bro. Step away from the pipe. It's okay, brother. It's okay. Sup, Haize, I don't have any issues with people getting a potential contract extension, but he's vastly underperformed so far in his time. And then why do you always type like you're writing an article, Vern? Just talk. I know for 100% fact you don't talk in the hood like that. Like, stop trying to like I can guarantee you. I guarantee you ESPN isn't going to find their next writer here in this chat, bro. But it's my belief in him as Wayne, but that can shift. I mean, yeah, he has a lot left in the tank to show potentially. Like we've seen it. You can't write a player off too early in their career, and we'll see. People's defense is more than okay. Offense got to take a step forward, though. Agree with you there. Let's be honest, and this is probably the most common sense comment that I've ever going to have. The only common sense thing for us to do in this draft is draft a center. It doesn't matter. I mean, listen, in a weak draft like this, I'll say this. It comes down to also how you value the talent. I think this is the type of draft that, regardless of position, because it's labeled as a weak draft, if you find the diamond in the rough in this one, I don't think anybody's going to look back and say, you should have drafted a center if you get the guy that ends up turning out to be damn good in this draft. We don't need Clay. Tay, this is Jerry. We found Jerry Reindorf's burner. In what world, where the Bulls are right now, do we need Clay and Chris Paul? What does that do for where the Bulls are right now and trying to get younger and maybe even be bad to get the Tay? Listen, brother, I understand. It's hot. You got to stop ODing on titty sweat, my boy. You got to stop, man. You got to get it together, bro. You got to get it together, my boy. You got to get your life together, fam. You got to stop doing it, man. What are we talking about, bro? What are we talking about? What are we doing? What are we doing? You think you can right our wrongs with OKC if they want Pat Balley and we sign and trade him there and retain assets to make up for the Caruso trade? I doubt that that's going to happen. We'll see, though. We'll see. I know this may sound stupid, but if we don't get Donovan Clingan, I would definitely go for that. Khalil, what? Who? Is that a player from the WNBA draft? Who? Shay's typos, bro. Shay's typos made their return. What is that? That's crazy. Cold Hoop says, Haize, which free agents do you think the franchise should pursue in free agency? I can't say that yet. We don't even know what this roster is going to look like. I have no idea right now, bro. Have no idea. None. That's crazy. Hey, you trying to be politician talking about Chris Paul in the Locked On Warriors pod was funny. Politically correct. Polite is probably what you meant there. I mean, listen, I didn't want to go over on somebody else's podcast and go off. So getting younger may lead to more turnovers, but if it leads to faster paced style, then I'm good. We'll see. We'll see. But all right, y'all, I ain't gonna hold this one down. Patrick Willaims signs, he gets extended a qualifying offer. Now, the only options now left, since he officially has a qualifying offer, there are only 3 outcomes in this. He either takes the qualifying offer and just plays on 1-year deal and becomes an unrestricted free agent next summer. He re-signs with the Chicago Bulls, or he signs an offer sheet with another team, and the Bulls could match, or he goes with another team. I guess it's 4 options because sign and trade is still an option here. But that's it. That's it. So we'll see what happens with that one, guys. But guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure you guys are following the show at Bull Central Pod. You can send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns. BullCentralPod@gmail.com. Lastly, if you want to leave a text message and or voicemail for the mailbag, the number to do so, 773-270-2799. We're the #1 spot for everything Chicago Bulls related. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. Love you guys. Go Bulls. See Red.